I'm serious. I would rather die than be a failure. I will do anything close to death to be a winner. There was no what if, no plan B. Forget plan B. This was the only thing that mattered in my life. I was willing to give it that much. And a lot of times I came that close to death.
Stim of the day is now protein of the day. We're going with something that is also not sold in my store, which I'm kind of fucking pissed about. These rebuild ones. Not too bad, 35 grams of protein. Macros wise, outside of the protein, 3 grams of fat, 6 grams of carbs. Not too bad. In my opinion, the MRE ones are better. Obviously not done with cereal or milk. But what I do want to talk to you guys about on my drive to work today is the fact that words genuinely mean nothing until there's action put behind it. All these quotes that you guys see online, like the motivational quotes from Goggins or fucking Joe Rogan or Tate or literally any type of motivational figure that you guys see, even me, some of like the one-liners that I have that honestly are pretty decent and hopefully I can coin one day, all of them mean absolutely nothing until you apply them into your life and you actually understand what the quote means. For example, last night I gave myself 10 minutes. I literally set a timer on my phone and I gave myself 10 minutes to scroll Instagram Reels. And the reason behind it is because of a quote from Andrew Tate, which is the following: I allow my enemy to manipulate me to see where they want me to go, and then I break my mind, break the trap, and punish the perpetrator. Something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing, of course. And that is why I did it. That is why I gave myself 10 minutes of Instagram Reels, because I wanted to see, because I don't scroll social media, so I wanted to see where my For You page, where my algorithm wants me to go. And literally, no bullshit, it was all TJR, the fucking day trader who just bought the Conan's egg, and then the Bop House girls. That was my whole feed. And I'm like, what the fuck? But I think it's genuinely important to understand this quote in particular, because if you watch your social media algorithm, if you watch the mainstream media news, if you watch any type of content, you have to see where that content is coming from, where they want you to go, and then it's up to you to decide if you want to break the trap that they're trying to put you under and then go the way that you think that you authentically should want to go, or if you actually want to follow that person. You can make that decision about me, you can make that decision about the mainstream media, you can make that decision about literally any single person that you watch content from. You have to understand where they want you to go, and then it's up to you to decide, do you want to try and break the trap and punish them for it by going in your own direction, or do you actually want to follow this person because you think they authentically actually want the best for you? And 99.9% of the time, I'm gonna be honest with you, these content creators, they don't. I can 100% authentically and honestly admit to you, I don't want anything from you. I want nothing for you but the best. I want you to give your best, and I want you to become your best. There's a difference between selling out and actually selling a high quality service or a high quality product. Because I genuinely don't think you guys understand. Like, I'm gonna make this shit like the price of Chipotle, and I'm gonna have it just dog walk all of these other content creators like thousands and thousands of dollars of programs. Like they're $10,000 mentorships, $5,000 mentorships, whatever the fuck. Like all these high ticket shit, I'm gonna make this shit like the price of Chipotle. And the value that I provide compared to the value that they give for these thousands of dollars programs, my shit's gonna dog walk it. And it's because I've told you guys before, and I will tell you guys again and again and again and again and again. It's not about the money for me. I understand that the money will come to me in perpetuity when I put the people first, when I put impact first, when I put value first. It's not about views, it's about value. It's not about money, it's about impact. That's what I want you guys to understand, at least from my perspective, because I don't want you guys to, now I understand this is probably going to happen regardless, but I'm putting the disclaimer out there now so that you guys can actually come back when it does happen and be like, okay, well, to be fair, he actually did say this before. What I'm saying is, eventually, when I do launch products, when I do launch services, when I do start charging for certain things, I don't want everyone to be like, oh, he's selling out, oh, he's doing this, oh, he's doing that, whatever. Like I said, I understand I'm probably still going to get some of that, but I'm putting the disclaimer out here now, is that not only one, is it going to be significantly cheaper than all these other high ticket bullshit guys that honestly just want to flex their cars, their watches, their Miami penthouses. It's going to be cheaper than that, and it's going to be more valued than that. But the reason behind why I'm saying all of this is that words do not mean anything until there's action behind it. I'm putting these words out there into the universe now because I know for a 100% fact that I will put the action behind it to prove these words that I'm speaking now true. I'm going to prove them to be true later down the line. Yeah, it might take a couple months. Yeah, it might take a couple years for some of the things that I say to actually come to fruition and actually be in a position to where you guys can look back and be like, oh wow, he was actually right all along. But the reason that I say these things, and the reason I'm honestly making some of these call outs more recently, is because I'm a man of my word, and I want you guys to understand that. There is a car riding my fucking ass right now, and it is annoying the shit out of me. Anyway, I want you guys to understand that I'm a man of my word. Anything that I say, anything that I put into the world, anything that I put into existence, I mean it. And the only way to show that you mean it is by what I started this whole thing off with. Words do not mean anything until there is action put behind it. I can say all these things all that I want. I can claim that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to achieve this, I'm going to achieve that. I can say it, and that's great, but if you guys don't watch my day-to-day actions, if you guys don't see me making significant progress, if you guys don't see tangible results coming in the next weeks, in the next months, and in the next coming years, then you guys are going to be like, well, this guy's full of shit. But if I say these things now, and you guys watch the evolution, you guys watch the growth, you guys watch the progress, you guys watch the exponential gains that are going to come into my life in the next coming weeks, months, and years, then you guys are going to be like, oh, okay, I understand how it works now. If you literally just show up every single day and you do what you need to do, regardless of how you feel, on a long enough time frame, you win. And that is what awards you the ability to say some of the things that I'm saying right now. I can say with full confidence that I'm going to be 200 pounds, 8% body fat by the end of 2025 because I know for a 100% fact that I'm doing everything necessary every single day in order to get myself there. I know for a fact that I'm going to retire my mother, buy my dad his dream car, and send them on the vacation of their dreams within the next year and a half to 2 years because I am doing the necessary things every single day, regardless of how I feel, in order to put myself in a position to where I can provide my family that reality. Same thing with proposing to my woman. Same thing with paying off all my student loan debt. Same thing with moving out of my parents' house. Same thing with all the different things that are happening in my life. I can fully confidently say that I will do those things because I'm doing the things necessary in order to get there. And the only reason that I'm putting a time frame on it, not even that the time frame matters, but the reason that I'm putting a time frame on it is for the level of urgency that it gives me. Now it's on me to fulfill on that promise. And the whole reason that I told my girl and my parents these things to begin with is, like I just said, to give myself that level of urgency. Because urgency is what catapults me out of bed every single morning. Urgency is what allows me to have this insatiable drive, this insatiable hunger to the point where I can't stop. I can't waste time. I can't take a day off. I can't take an hour off. I can't take a minute off. Because every minute that I take off, every second that I spend not doing something getting me closer to one of those goals that I just laid out to you, every second that I don't spend doing something that is getting me closer to that, that period of time in which I actually do fulfill on those promises and accomplish those goals, that period of time gets farther and farther and farther away every single second that I do not spend doing something that is getting me closer to that. That's how I see it. Is it true? Maybe, maybe not. But regardless, I think it does. And because I think it does, I think it's an extremely healthy way of thinking. Because if you simply just work every waking hour, and every waking hour you're doing something that is getting you closer to any of the goals that you have, you're destined to win. It doesn't even become a matter of if anymore. If I'm going to do it, if I'm going to do that. It just becomes a matter of when. And quite honestly, the when is also up to you. You are in full control of the when, because of the level of urgency that you put behind it, the level of intention that you put behind it. Because I could just have easily said to myself, oh, I'm going to get the 200 pounds, 8% body fat by the end of 2026, not 2025. I could take a whole year. I could do it slow. I could do it the nice and slow, methodical way. But I said, no. Why not cut the time frame essentially in half and say I'm going to do it in 4 months instead of 8 or 12 or 16, however many months it would have been. It would have been 16. So I essentially gave myself 25% of the time to achieve a goal that realistically should take it a year and a half. And the reason behind it is for the urgency. The reason I told my girl that I wanted to propose to her before the end of 2025 is for the level of urgency. The reason that I told my parents is that I was going to pay off my debt and I was going to do these things and I was going to retire them and I was going to do this and do that and make this much money is because of the urgency. Urgency cures any form of laziness that you may have. And quite honestly, you should not be lazy. If you are currently not living your dream life, if you currently don't have the time freedom and the location freedom to go wherever you want and do whatever you want, however the fuck you want to do it, if you're not in the best shape of your life, if you don't have a loving and caring woman that will be by your side and emotionally support you in every single aspect of your life, if you haven't retired your parents, then honestly, what in the hell are you lazy for? If you've achieved all those things, great. You can go watch Netflix and fucking do whatever you want. You can be lazy if you want, if you've already done all those things. But if you haven't achieved all the goals that you said that you wanted to achieve, if you haven't become the man that you have wanted to become ever since that you were a little kid, then you have no reason to take a day off. You have no reason to take an hour off. You have no reason to take a minute off. Not even a second. Every waking second should be spent doing something that is getting you closer to your goals. Because that's how you win. It trumps, it's the ultimate trump card. It's just working every waking hour. Because you beat the guys that are more talented than you. You beat the guys that started off in a better position than you. You beat the guys that were given more money than you as a kid, or had better genetics physique-wise as a kid, whatever it might be. It's the ultimate trump card. Because those who were given more appreciate what they were given less. So as a result, the laziness slips in, the lack of consistency slips in, the lack of discipline slips in. Take time off here, take time off here. Don't do everything to the best of their ability over here. And that's where you win. All the little tiny slip-ups along the way that these other individuals make that may be more talented or might have been more genetically gifted or might have been given more and started in a better position, that is your advantage over them. Because I'm going to tell you something, I was born with shit genetics. I was born in a, quite honestly, in my opinion, the worst upbringing that you could have, which is overprotective and a privileged upbringing. And when I say privileged, I'm not saying that I'm not grateful for it. I'm saying that it is one of the most difficult to become successful out of, because you don't have that urgency. You don't have that drive to break free of the difficult circumstances that you're going through, because circumstances aren't difficult for you. So as a result, I had to break my mind. I'm going to go back to the first point and end this off. You have to break your mind, break the trap, and punish the perpetrators. I've seen where my enemy wants me to go. I've allowed them to manipulate my mind so I could identify the direction that they want me to go. And I'm going the complete opposite direction. Because the complete opposite direction from where my enemy wants me to go is exactly towards the man that I want to become, the goals that I want to achieve, and the things that I want to accomplish, and the impact that I want to leave on each and every single one of you guys. There's levels to this shit. This may not make sense to you right now, but basically, here are the sales numbers. For the day, I was there, wasn't there. Not gonna lie, that's pretty decent. When I tell you guys that I really am the Jordan Belfort of selling supplements, I fucking am. Because to put all of this kind of into perspective too, $1,500 a day, at least at a store of this size, like this store is not that big. Let's be real here. The store is not that big. A store of this size and a store of this capacity selling $1,500 essentially average per day, that is by far and away top of the district, at least in my district that I'm at, which is a district of 18 stores, I believe. But outside of that, there really is levels to this shit. I'm telling you guys. And now, like I mentioned before in that aggression talk, I need a good team around me, because I can't be having a $300 difference, sometimes even $600, $700 difference in sales when I'm not here versus when I am here. And I can't be having that. So if anybody is in the area and you want a job and you want to get taught sales by me, and you want a job that is paid based on your performance, let me know. I had a super slow day, and honestly, it was quite a shit day leading up until about a half hour before we closed. I had a couple walk in, I was like, man, fuck off. Like, it's been slow all day. I don't want to deal with people right now. It's literally a half hour before close. I'm doing all my closing shit. And funny enough, I ended up getting into genuinely like almost an hour-long conversation with them, staying till after close, selling over $600 to just this couple, and it completely turning my day around, completely turning my energy around. It made my sales look a lot better. I signed both of them up to premium memberships, which you guys probably don't care about, but the premise behind it all and the lesson behind all of it is, I'm going to paraphrase an Alex Hormozi quote, which is that he said something along the lines of, if you can be in a bad mood for no reason, then why not be in a good mood for no reason? And that's essentially how I approach interactions with other customers at the store. Because, yeah, going into it, I may have been cussing under my breath and like pissed off at the fact that, they're coming in right before close and all this shit, and like I was having a bad day or whatever. But I didn't let the energy that I felt inside portray into my energy outside and how I actually interacted with them. And then over the course of essentially, like, this whole thing is kind of like faking it, but in the sense, I really don't think it is, because it's authentic to me to be nice. It's authentic to me to actually want to help people. That's why I'm in the sales business and the customer service business to begin with, is because I genuinely do want to help people. Now, don't get me wrong. Are there certain instances where I want to make my money and I want to make my commission and I have to do things in order to do so? Absolutely. That's part of the game. But with that being said, at the root of it all, at the core of the principles in how I approach things, it's to help people, which I tell you guys that all the time. It's not about the money. It's not about the success, but in the pursuit of that, the core root of it all is impact, and it's helping people. That is what I'm after. And I know that in the pursuit, I think I said it backwards, in the pursuit of impact, in the pursuit of value, in the pursuit of positively influencing as many people as I physically can in this lifetime, I know that in the pursuit of that, the money, the success, the fame, the influence will come as a result of putting those things first. Most people have it the other way around. Most people focus on the money. They focus on the fame. They focus on all the materialistic bullshit, and they don't focus on the value. They don't focus on the impact. And as a result, they're like, why am I not making money? All I'm doing is focusing on the money. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. But they have to understand that the root of the problem is because they're not focusing on value. The root of the problem is they're so fucking money hungry that they're not focused on the root of their issue. The reason they don't have money is because they don't provide any value. Anytime there's any type of exchange of money, it's an exchange of value. They came into the store, this example that I'm using that just happened, they came into the store, I provided them value in terms of knowledge, in terms of the products that I had in the store. I exchanged that to them, and they exchanged me money as a result. That's all money is. It's just a transfer of value. Somebody has something that I want, I give them money, and they give me what I want, and vice versa. That's how the world operates. And the reason I'm tying this back into the Alex Hormozi quote of, if you can be in a bad mood for no reason, then why not be in a good mood for no reason, is because all it takes is just one little thing. All it takes is just one little instance to happen to completely 360, 180, whatever the fuck it is, your entire day. Because a lot of people that I see that have worked for me in the past, that I've fired, that I've interacted with, that I've studied, honestly, I see that they let their internal emotions and their internal feelings and their internal energy project into the external world. And contrary to what I think most people think, that's not always a good thing. You shouldn't always outwardly express your inward emotions. Because let's take another example real quick. Right now, on a day-to-day basis, 95% of my day, all I feel is rage. I was actually just talking about this with my boy a couple days ago over voice notes. Genuinely, all I feel is rage, like 95% of my day. Rage in the sense of, I am not where I want to be yet. My mother is not retired yet. My dad does not have his dream car yet. I haven't sent my parents on their dream vacation that they want to go on yet. I personally haven't moved out. I personally am not financially free. I personally am not time freedom and location freedom. I personally have not proposed my woman. I personally do not have the physique of my dreams. All of these aspects of my life is just fuel to the fire. And I am infuriated at the fact that I'm not there yet. So as a result, as I've mentioned in previous videos, I've taken that aggression, I've taken that rage, and I've controlled it. I've manipulated it into the most advantageous way possible for myself so that I output all of that aggression into tasks and into things that get me closer to those goals. Simple as that. I honestly was thinking of another way to explain it or reiterate it so that you understand it. But that is truly it. This isn't going to be a very long rant. It's going to be less than 10 minutes for the first time in a while. Genuinely, you should be infuriated that you are not in the position that you currently want to be at. You should be infuriated that you're not there now. You should have a level of urgency behind you, and you should be pissed off every single day that you are not there yet. You should be pissed off if your parents are still working. You should be pissed off if you don't have the woman of your dreams. You should be pissed off if you don't have the physique of your dreams. You should be pissed off if you can't go wherever you want, whenever you want, do whatever the fuck you want, and do it however the fuck you want it. You should be pissed off. And combine that with controlling that aggression. Instead of it being like an Uzi machine gun and spraying everywhere, you should be a sniper. You should be precision accuracy every single day. And every single thing that you do with that aggression and with that rage should be directly channeled into the things that move the needle closer to that version of yourself that you want to be. And then you combine that with the first thing that I mentioned, which is that if you can be in a bad mood for no reason, why the fuck not be in a good mood for no reason? And that means that this rage that you feel inside, this aggression that you feel inside, this crazy level of ambition that you feel inside, it's not always beneficial to have that outwardly expressed into the real world. Sometimes you need to channel it internally, but not outwardly express it. You can outwardly express calmness, stoicism, peace, harmony, calmness, whatever it might be. You can express those things outwardly, but internally, it could be a burning, raging inferno. And you have to find the balance between the two. I hate the word balance, but it's a perfect term to use in this scenario. You have to find the balance between when to let out that aggression, when to let out that rage, and when to use it in the most constructive and advantageous way possible towards your goals, and when to internalize it and express a different emotion. Imagine I'm going to leave you with this. Imagine a bunch of spices, like spices that you cook with, and they're in a cabinet, and they're nice and neatly organized, and they're all lined up and shit on the shelves, whatever. Imagine all of your emotions as spices on a cabinet. And whatever situation you find yourself in, whatever environment you find yourself in, whatever is the most advantageous emotion, think to yourself in your own mind of opening up the cupboard, the spices cabinet, and picking out the most advantageous emotion to use for that given scenario. And when you do so, when you have control over your mind like that, you begin to operate different scenarios, not like a chameleon, but like a sniper. Because instead of just acting on impulse and acting on all of your emotions and not thinking rationally during certain high pressure situations, instead of doing that and just putting any fucking spice you want on whatever you're cooking, you pick exactly the best spice for that piece of chicken, for that piece of steak, for that piece of beef, whatever it might be. And the pieces of meat are the different environments and the different situations that you find yourself in on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week basis, on a month-to-month basis, whatever it might be. So find the most advantageous emotion to use during that situation and have the self-control, have the mentality and the self-awareness within yourself to be able to pick out that emotion from the cabinet and use it to your advantage so that you can win in every single aspect of your life. I hope all that makes sense. If you have any questions regarding that whole thing, because I know I used a shit ton of analogies there, but if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I'll make sure to respond to every single one of them. But thank you guys for watching. I love each and every single one of you guys. Make sure to comment some Q&A questions on top of any questions that you might have about that rant. Like the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single one of these videos that drop every single day, and I will see you in the next one.